One U.S. lawmaker is railing against cancel culture. In fact, in an opinion piece for the Washington Post, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott wrote this headline: "Let's set the record straight on woke supremacy and racism." And there it is. In the piece, Senator Scott, the GOP's only black senator, pushed back against criticism that his party is using him as a prop because he's black. Joining us now to discuss is Dr. Paula Price. She's a pastor, community activist, and author of this book that's on your screen here, The Prophet's Dictionary, and the founder of Price University. So great to have Dr. Paula Price on the show today. Good to see you. Thanks for your time.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Absolutely. I want to talk to you about this one here. Senator Scott writing this op-ed that we showed the viewers after being criticized by the Washington Post for saying that woke supremacy is as bad as white supremacy. Just a piece of the article here. He says this. The senator says, "I spoke out because I am gravely concerned for our future if we ignore either type of supremacy, both of which are rooted in racism or discrimination." You say Senator Scott is right about woke supremacy. Dr. Paula, explain that to me.
Well, I think he's right. It's hard to be an American, no matter what color you are, and not have to bump into the word supremacy all the time. Very difficult to do that. We can't ignore the fact that our nation had its racial foundations, but that doesn't mean that we cannot be honest about where we came from and frank about where we're going.
He uses this term, woke supremacy. You don't have to explain what he meant, obviously, but what do you think woke supremacy means? How can we break this down for those that are watching right now?
Woke supremacy started with black musicians. It came out of a song from Erykah Badu talking about now she's woke. And the whole idea is that we as a people need to wake up to what's going on around us, our options, our opportunities, and our responsibilities.
So the whole topic of cancel culture comes up with this as well, and there are so many examples that you could list of just about everything being canceled if you can find some root with it being labeled to racism. It seems as if you find this, if you have a bucket and it's labeled racism, and you put anything or anyone in it, including Aunt Jemima and all kinds of different other things, we're canceling syrups. Just about everything gets canceled here. How do you fight back against this, the culture war, or is it already won?
Well, it looks like it's won, and when things are so well orchestrated, they look as if they have the upper hand. One of the things that I realize about this cancel culture is that the canceling is not really what we think it is. There's a passage in Psalm 113 that says, "If the foundations are removed, what can the righteous accomplish?" And that's what I see cancel culture is being about, removing foundations that got us here, but also removing foundations that represent our safeguards, regardless of our skin. My prayer is that we'll get to, as a company, we'll be able to get out of our skin and get into the real us, what makes us Americans, and get into the real truth. But right now, we are skin conscious and we lead with our skin, which will always cause division.
And, we're showing that video there, and I think about, because you forget it happens so often now, 6 Dr. Seuss books being canceled. You're thinking about, things that Ellen DeGeneres had said, on her show, or things that she's done with her employees and her staff, and the backlash she's faced as well. And then also you think about the Washington Redskins, now just the Washington football team. It just seems like this whole cancel culture cyclone, if you will, you would really call it a carousel, because it just keeps going and going and going, and you wonder where it will stop. I'm curious to know, as a pastor, how does, of biblical proportions, how does the Bible read into this? How does Christianity read into this intolerant behavior that we've seen?
Well, if I were going to go with the Bible and then plug it into our country, and I have to say that if we were founded on biblical principles, we were founded on Christianity. I know they keep trying to tell us that we're not, but if you think about it, they're not converting us from anything else but Christianity. If I had to think about it, then it is a large-scale takeover. They call it cancel, or they call it progressive, but actually it's a backstep to what Jesus destroyed on the cross. It's actually a backstep. I mean, think about it. Ellen DeGeneres, all of the issues that they have, they're all backstep to old way. And that's what I've been saying. I've been on several interviews talking about the whole idea that we're moving forward, but this isn't forward. These are not the things that got us where we are. This is backwards, and these are all destructive things. If you look at what they're talking about, at the heart of it, at the root, it's let's destroy light, let's destroy safety, let's destroy uniformity, let's destroy anything, harmony. And so what they're trying to destroy is what made us who we are today as a nation. Problems aside, we still made a lot of good things happen, and those things are being canceled.
I know you're the author of your book there, The Prophet's Dictionary, I believe it's called. Yes. What does the future look like when we're talking about that? I mean, what does the future look like in the cancel culture that we live in? Does this continue on? Is there an end to it? Is this only temporary? Give me a little insight. What do you think?
It will continue for a little bit. Most of all, I think it's a wake-up call. And I say that to be very frank with you, because things like this happen when we lapse into smugness, when we think that we've got it all together, we've done everything we need to do, we think we've built it all up. We lapse into smugness. It gives power to those who want to replace us or unseat us. Well, if that's the truth, then we can go on to say that they will lapse into their own smugness as well. So as far as God's concerned, he told me it's not over. That this all happened to make us want to fight for America. That's something that we had forgotten. Our next generations, going back, let's say the next 3-4 generations, we just wanted them to enjoy America. Now we have to fight for it.
All right. I'll leave it right there. Dr. Paula A. Price joining us live here on National Report. Dr. Paula, good to see you. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.